to set up your voicemail. Call me back when you get this message, okay? I got the tea and it's piping. But until you call me back, I will be calling my other homegirls. Hey, homegirl! Let's get into the tea.
Let's get into the tea. Hey, homegirl. Oh my God. How are you all? I missed you. I missed you. It's funny because as I was preparing for this show, the soul sister that is the Lord Jesus Christ placed something in my spirit. And as the people come in, how did it go? Damn, how did it go? It was a song that the Lord placed in my spirit. I'm your home girl, homeboy, and homie. Yeah. I'm your home girl, homeboy, and homie. I'm your home girl, your home girl, your home girl will never leave you. Listen. And all you got to do is stream, baby. I'll be there. Yes! Y'all better stream. Y'all better stream. Like the stream while you're at it, okay? I never say that. I just realized I never say like the stream. I felt that in my shondo, in my halabashanda. So, hey, homegirl, homeboy, and homies, welcome. And they're welcome back to another episode of Homegirl Hangout with me, your host and big homie, Herbie Revalis. There is a lot on the agenda, so I kind of want to just run through the things because it's going to be a dynamic show. Y'all know I like a dynamic show, something where we get a little bit of politics, a little bit of personal life, a little bit of pop culture, all of the things, not too much of the politics though. But when I do have to whack a lady, when politics intersects with the arts, when politics intersects with pop culture, things that are a little or perceived more frivolous, that's where I like to jump in and get into the nitty gritty. Yes! That's where I like to jump in and get into the nitty gritty. So first things first, before I get into the agenda, is Tron in the chat? Because Tron is gagging. I told Tron last week on the after show that I would be doing this show next week on Monday, that we will be starting a weekly show. So moving forward, before I dig into Tron's ass, who is, a beloved member of the Patreon family over at homie headquarters. This show will be weekly, every single Monday at around 5 or 6. I'm still working out the kinks. But Tron was like, yeah, girl, you've been saying that for 3 months. We'll see. Oh! My first time being early. Yeah, because you know that the job was she coming. She coming. So thank you to my supporters. And thank you to my haters. I needed that. Y'all motivate me. I am warm once again. I'm always warm, y'all. But that's because if it's between, a light fan, AC remaining at the same temperature, or a boost in the PSC and G bill, it's going to be a light fan and the AC remaining where she is. So, like I said, there's a lot on today's agenda. First things first is Cardi B finally dropped her lead single to her highly anticipated sophomore album. And, well, it underperformed. And after listening to it, that is to be expected. It performed just as I expected. It entered and exited the iTunes charts faster than you and I change our boxes and underwear and panties. And I'm not certain what her intentions were with this track in particular. I have my theories, and we'll discuss that. Next, oh my God, Chloe Bale. I love you, Chloe, and you know this, I love you down. She she didn't drop, but she was recently featured on a Soca song. I thought it was cute. I like this sonic moment for her. I'm excited for what is to come from my girl, Chloe. And so, yeah, we just want to shout her out in this moment. Speaking of people who I'm looking forward to. Now, I wasn't a huge fan of Khalid. I've not been a huge fan of Khalid historically. He was someone I'd listen to sparingly. I'd like a single here. I'd like an album track there. But after that incident with that Hispanic man who referred to Khalid as ugly, I just thought that we would all have a moment of silence for that mug. That is a beautiful man. Now, I don't know about you, but I know about me. And that is a beautiful man, this thing. I don't know. I'm living for him. So That's what I have to say on him at the top of the show. And speaking of gay news, Nick Cannon. Stop it, for real. Let me finish my sentence. Nick Cannon has a new show called Nick Cannon at Night, which is a beautiful or a cutesy homage to his time over at Nickelodeon. And they posed a pretty interesting question from a viewer of the show who asked when or whether there is a right time for a bisexual man to disclose his bisexuality, specifically to his female partner. And so I have thoughts on this. I have some thoughts on this thing as a person who has dated bisexual men. But I recognize that I want a little bit more nuance to this conversation. So we started this conversation on the after show last week, and it was cute, but we only grazed the surface. So if you're on the Patreon, I am going to send a link to join the live when I start talking about the Nick at Night gag. I want you guys to come on, particularly if you're a cis woman, and give me your thoughts on when or whether it is ever appropriate for a bisexual man to disclose his bisexuality, particularly to the woman that he's interested in dating. I am super interested to hear what you all have to say. Now, what else do we have on? I feel like there's more gay news. There is more gay news. Oh, NicOlandria. So the people are saying that it's fake love at an all-time high. I want to say that I believe in the NicOlandria love story, but I'm new to the island. This is my first. I am like 50% of the audience of Love Island USA season 7 that watched this for the first time this season. And it is, like I said, that show and that season in particular has risen to a level of a cultural phenomena because it was the most viewed piece of television across all of television in the United States. So, the discourse that has spawned from this show, people are using it to have proxy conversations or conversations about using these people as avatars and representatives of a larger discourse. And so it is one piece of the conversation that Jess Hilarious sparked in the comments section of, I believe, the Shade Room, is when she basically said that this was just a relationship for the show. They're doing this for economic advancement. They're doing it for money. There are other people who are having larger conversations about how other dark-skinned Black women, and Black women in particular, because one of the girls is brown-skinned, so other Black women on the show have dated interracially, and it seems that they have dated folks who are racist, bigoted, okay? And so the conversation has spawned into whether or not you can be in an interracial relationship that is absent racism, or at least racial bias, or I think that's the right word that I'm looking for, like racial tension. And so I'm interested in having that conversation with you all as well. And finally, speaking of racial ignorance, do you remember last week when I told you that there are white women doing black magic? You had to be here. I told you that there are white women doing black magic in these streets. Well, Jillian Michaels is one of those white women. She too is a nasty dark magic magician. She is actually a fitness influencer, I guess, with very little fitness influence, who recently was on CNN, essentially what I believe, this is how I felt, so allegedly defending slavery, or at the very least saying that the Trump administration has the right to overhaul. Hold on. Something was playing in my ear. Let me do this like this. Sorry, y'all. When I have headphones in, certain things start happening. So I'm really interested in having a conversation about how this witch, about how this dark magic witch is trying to cast a spell of disinformation on the public. I'm telling you, Jillian Methuselah Michaels is somewhere over a boiling pot with the Book of the Dead. Okay, she is a boiling mayo, green bean casserole, and Purdue chicken feet, trying to cook up a spell, pills and potions, trying trying to cook up a spell of bigotry, white supremacy, and disinformation. That's what these white bitches is doing. They are the soldiers of white supremacy. And so we're going to tag that ass because we've got time today. I just looked at my wrist. Oh, what do you know? I've got time today. So I'm really excited to, well, yes, Leah. Well, yes. So I'm really excited to tag Purdue Chicken, the magician, because it's time. White women, your time has come. All right. Now, this does make me want to say, because these topics all have just a bit of seriousness to them, with the exception of the Cardi B topic. And so I want us all to right now take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. No, but seriously, I am curious, and this is something I want to do every single episode, just for us both to get into our feelings. I want to ask you, how are you feeling? No, seriously, how are you? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. I think for me, I'm doing, this week is, I'm in a transition period. I'm in a transition period in my life. I feel like there are certain creative ideas that I've wanted to release for quite some time, but the weight of the social and political realities of this time have been so heavy that I've been in an escape mode. I've been running, but I'm not running from myself no more. I was talking to this beautiful man who lives in DC when I was planning to go see Doechii in DC, because Doechii is going on tour and she's only doing select cities. I'm a Jersey girl, as many of you know. And so I normally will go see shows in Jersey or New York or Philly, right? Somewhere in the area. And Doechii is not doing any of these areas. So the closest to me was DC. And so she made that announcement prior to DC, clink, 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 getting locked down. Clink, clink. And so when I said I was going to DC on my story, and this beautiful man in DC was like, oh, we should get together. I'm like, oh yeah, absolutely. And the conversation after the tickets went on sale, and I was like, you know what? Hey, I'm no longer going. Love Doechii down, but I gotta put me first. Lucius. I gotta put me first. Let me get right in the middle. I'm not investing, millions of dollars in somebody else's company for them to come and take my empire. Word to Cookie Lion. But so I told him I wasn't going, and I told him why. It's because of the political realities there right now. And he was like, yeah, I wouldn't want you to come, whatever. And a part of what he said to me, I'm getting to how I'm doing. A part of what he said to me is that I think I may have told you guys this last week, is that he is investing in community. He was like, I'm taking this time right now to essentially build a community infrastructure. And I lived for that. Let's think. I lived for that. Oh, I'm like, give it to me raw. Give it to me real. As a demi and sapiosexual, I'm turned on. You better give me ideas. Give me emotion. And it also gave me ideas around I need to talk to my family about our financial future and our economic concerns under a Trump administration. I need to talk to my friends about what it is that they need as queer people and women, and what are they investing in. Talk to a therapist about how to regulate my emotions, right? So I think the idea of building community as infrastructure is something that I'm looking forward to, even though there are so many things changing in my personal life. And so that is something that gives me pause to reflect and to take a deep breath and to say that, yeah, there's a lot happening right now, personally, politically, socially, culturally, but investing in a community infrastructure, the people that are right next to me, right? Reading my uncle, who is a Black MAGA Republican, to his face and not just behind his back. These are the things that I must do in order to build a community infrastructure and hold the people in my community accountable. This is what I must do. But I do want to see what you guys said about how you're doing. Mercury retrograde. Okay, honestly, Mercury is in Gatorade and Powerade. Wait, it's over though, right? Is it not? Another girl who was hit by the Gatorade superpowers. Girl, I can't keep running away. You can't keep running away. You have to run towards the things. Bunny Alive says excited and ready for what's next, yet the world is tiring. You know, there's so much disaster in the world. I just want to spend my time being your girl. Okay, let's take it on back to Cardi B-ski. And let's go ahead and get into the mother trucking things. Okay. So here's how I feel off top. Cardi B, like I said, released her lead single for her debut or her sophomore album, Am I the Drama? And so it is imaginary. It is Imaginary Players. That's the name of the song. It samples Jay-Z's song of the same name, Imaginary Players. And when I first heard it, I said, oh, oh, Jay-Z, this is a joke. Always knew you were a multi-talented king. Didn't know that you had comedy in your arsenal. Your arsenal. I didn't know you had it in there. Because we know that Nas didn't clear that Sheetha record. Okay. But we know that you cleared this record. And for me, I just got to know what was going through the king of hip hop's mind. It's not, man. Somebody ain't doing the math. Somebody ain't doing the math right. And I know that Barty Gang is going to have thoughts. Let me say this. I don't outright hate Cardi. I don't hate anybody in general, especially not people I don't know. But I don't be hating on Cardi. I don't look for reasons to not like her work. When Cardi B has bops, I say, oh, that's a bop. Live for that. Okay, what's that song? Oh, I'm trying to come. Live for that. Shake That, I think it was called. Tomorrow Too. Lived for that. I liked her on the song with Glorilla and Megan Thee Stallion. These niggas be bored, corny. All on my story. What song was that? What song was that? Y'all know the song I'm talking about. With the song with Megan and Glorilla. I enjoy Cardi B when I enjoy Cardi B, but here's what I'll say. Jay-Z played this. As for this Cardi B version of Imaginary Players, I like the beat. No. Wait, no. I do genuinely like the beat. I swear to God. I like the sample. But that's just because I like the original song. I told you this before. I grew up in a house where my dad played Jay-Z, Jeezy, you know, all of these people, Lil Wayne, the people you can think of that were big in hip hop in the early 2000s and 2010s, and in reggaeton and reggae, all that. That's what I grew up with. And so I like Jay-Z. I like Jay-Z on this song in particular because it feels like his voice with the beat, it feels very like he's telling a story, you know, and his voice adds to the rhythm. It adds to the flow of the song. Cardi B's flow is one note. The criticisms that you all give Megan Thee Stallion are the criticisms that we should be lobbing at Cardi B. Hello? Excuse me, is this thing on? Hi, guys. Can I speak to a manager? Yeah, because they're in the produce aisle grabbing tomatoes, and I know what these bitches are going to do with them. Yeah, Barty Gang, aisle 3. Immediately. Get over there. Oh, get over there. The criticisms that you are lobbing at Megan Thee Stallion about being a one flow hoe, you need to be lobbing at Cardi B. I like Cardi B, but every song there is an aggressive, assertive, brash, you know, que tu quieres, so my body wanna feel it, feliz, Cardi. Every song don't require that. Que tu quieres, so my body feliz, Cardi. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás? Slow down. First of all, slow down. You shouldn't be one of the biggest rappers on planet Earth right now, and I have to have closed captioning to understand what you're saying. Nope. No. And let me tell you something. It's a matter of enunciation. I don't mind an accent. That is who she is. She's a Dominican girl. This is who she is, right? If she was a florist, a nurse, a firefighter, hell, if she was a Maya Papaya just on a love show who has a very thick Dominican accent and a speech impediment, it would all be fine. You know, this is America, a boiling pot. Mwah. Love you, my Latino sister. My Latina sister. But you're a rapper, right? And let's get back to the fact that rapper words have meanings. Rap is rhythm and what? I'm sorry, I want to see it in the comments. Rap is rhythm and what? Oh, it's quiet? It's quiet in the comments? Correct. Thank you. Thank you. I'm just gonna call you Jaden. Jaden, being a queen, because you're a queen in this moment, has more to do with having to do what the rest of the weeks in the comments won't do. Poetry. So it is contextually sound to be critical of her ability to speak in a way that everybody understands what she's saying. You're a poet, babe. You get paid millions of dollars to talk. You get paid millions of dollars to catch the beat. And yet, it appears you're getting paid millions of dollars to get beat up by the beat. I didn't know that you were a beat boxer. Yes. Come on, bitch. No, I'm serious. No, because this is not funny. No. Listen, I'm going to play a clip and you guys tell me what you think, because I could be wrong. I'm going to play you a clip directly from the song and we'll react, and I want y'all's thoughts. Seriously, y'all, this is too much.
¿Cómo estás? Ven aquí, you a puta, say la di, hola aquí, hola mi, ne ma puta di na li, di mandero sila mi na ula ka.
Yes, wait. Wait, hold on. Let me hear that again, Cardi.
¿Cómo estás? Ven aquí, you a puta, say la di, hola aquí, hola mi, ne ma puta di na li, di mandero sila mi na ula ka.
Yes. Now I can't stand Kaya. That's why I'm sitting this thing. But let me tell you this. Girl, that is a key. Girl, that is a key, girl. Even that, La Cardi. Why does every beat sound Afro-Latina? No, I'm just kidding. And before you girls start throwing tomatoes, I'm a Latina. It's not racist because I'm a Latina. Huh? If Cardi B is black, I'm a Latina. Because Cardi B is black, I'm a Latina. It ain't right. It is not xenophobic. I'm just saying, you know, as a person who has a father who has an accent, if my dad was a rapper, I'd be reading his ass for filth. Like, try that again. Immediately what comes to my mind is Beyonce recording Run the World, who has a strong Texas accent. And she kept singing, boy, I know you love it, how we smart enough to make, and not saying smart enough to make these millions, so that we could catch that she was saying smart, right? So she's in the studio like smart, right? So it's, boy, I know you love it, how we smart enough to, you have to make sure, because we need to know what you're saying. We need to know what you're saying as a poet. Okay? If you're nasty. Mr. Hernandez, if you're nasty. Thank you. At least someone knows who I really am. And so, with this being said, Cardi, Jay-Z, I know you played. Let's be clear. I do wish Cardi be the best, but again, it's her job to talk. And so, as a communications major, I'm going to be critical of the girls who get paid millions of dollars to speak. And even if I wasn't a communications major, as a listener of music, I'm gonna be critical. Oh, we need to take this live down afterwards. You know what? No, we don't. We don't. And let me tell you why we don't. Let me tell you why we don't. Because one, okay, move, Kaya. Move. The Imendero A was a little far. And I'm not saying that I have an issue with her accent. I have an issue with her enunciation. And that is as a result of her accent. But I feel like if you're in the studio, it's not like it was live. Like she doesn't get to retry. It's been what, 6 years since her last album? 7 years? What was her album? That's a lot of time to make sure that the projects that you're putting out are, first of all, can you catch the beat? It's just the level that she's risen to. We have to hold her to the standard that she needs to be held to. One criticism is of her inability to get the message across clearly. Another criticism is of her inability to find a real flow and the delivery that's so similar. Now, there are songs like Be Careful, like the song she did with Summer Walker, but those don't sound good. Those just don't sound good. The internet did not live for her. She was on the No Love remix. Please Be Careful. Y'all ran her up out of here. Some people's voices don't sound good singing. Like Megan Thee Stallion does not sound good singing. Sorry. I love Cognac Queen, and that's about it. Even with the auto-tune, it's a chop for me, right? But there are other ways to deliver, like because what this song was supposed to be was a narrative. It wasn't supposed to be boom, 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 boom. You know, it was supposed to be like conversational, flexing, popping your shit, and the bars were there. I'll give her that. Cardi B wrote this song herself from top to bottom. If you look at the songwriting credits, it's everybody who was on the songwriting credits from the original sample, which, you know, songwriting credits are political. So everybody who wrote the original song are going to have the same songwriting credits on this very sampled song. But she wrote this song from top to bottom, and it feels that way. It feels like a diary entry, but it almost feels like you get in a rap battle with your friends and everybody writes their freestyles down and they go in and you go, but because you don't have your bars memorized, you reading it off the page. And that's where it comes in with her fighting the beat and the beat fighting back, but the beat is winning. The beat is winning. I'll give her tools for writing. I'm just saying, shout out to her for writing this song. I mean, period. Like, you each out what little the rap skill is just lackluster, and at this point, we can't keep making excuses for someone who is a veteran in this game at this point. Like, you've been around quite some time as a rapper. Now, the one thing I have to say about the bars were there. Apparently, she was throwing shots at JT and Ice Spice. I don't care. I don't care at all. What I do care about is her talking about that she was the first rap on the cover of Vogue. She was not. And it's like there's so much debate online about something that's very easy to identify. Nicki Minaj was the first rap female on the cover of Vogue in 2018. Vogue Arabia. Cardi B was, in fact, the first rap woman on the cover of Vogue America, right? She was the first Black woman on the cover of Vogue America, which is prestigious and more prestigious than being on the cover of Vogue Arabia because of the legacy of Vogue America. First of all, Vogue America is the oldest Vogue. It's the first ever Vogue. Vogue has been around since the 1800s in America. So to be featured on the cover of Vogue is more than just being on the cover. Vogue America specifically is more than just being on the cover of a magazine. It's being held and documented in American fashion history. It's incredibly prestigious, and it means something to be on the cover of Vogue as an Afro-Latina woman. And the first female rapper to be on the cover of American Vogue. That matters. However, with that being said, given the significance of Vogue as, a historical archive of what and who America deems fashion. Is it fashion? But is it fashion? It's an archive of who America deems beautiful, artful, and atop the pinnacle or the apex of fashionable. And so, again, I'll say it a million times. That matters. That's worth something. However, she was not the first. Nicki Minaj was. But even more so, she shouldn't have been the first. Fuck if she was the first. I don't give a rat's ass. I don't give a rat's ass. Cardi B should not have been the first female rapper on the cover of American Vogue. And that's not because I'm hating on her. It's just because how does Lil' Kim exist and Cardi B is the first female rapper on the cover of American Vogue? How does Missy Elliott exist and Cardi B is the first female rapper on the cover of American Vogue? How does Nicki Minaj exist and have the level of influence, impact, and not just rap, but in culture abroad, globally, in beauty, in fashion? Is you shitting me? Are you shitting me? And I'm not saying that's Cardi B's fault. I'm not saying that's Cardi B's fault that Vogue chose her, right? I have my own criticisms of Vogue as an institution. I absolutely believe that Cardi B should have been on the cover of Vogue. I do. Cardi B is influential. Cardi B is a beautiful girl, and she is really, really fashionable. In the fashion lane, I don't think there's a rap girl touching her in the way that she's doing what she's doing, period. And what she's been doing. So she absolutely deserved a Vogue American cover. I'm just saying, I'll allow Nicki Minaj to say it, and then I'll circle back.
They like to twist my words. The same way I feel I should have already been on the cover of American Vogue, so should Lil' Kim. If we being all the way 1,000. If we being all the way 1,000. If this is what your magazine represents, influence.
Then how do you not? How do you not?
If we being honest. If we being honest, because any female rapper, when myself or Lil' Kim goes on the internet, every day we see our influence. We will see our influence. So I'm not gonna say it's about me only, right? And not give that woman her just due about what she did.
Now, Nicki Minaj spit so hard in this interview. This is probably one of my favorite interviews of Nicki Minaj because there was a real cultural competence in this interview. Now, Nicki Minaj is not a cultural critic or a historian, so I'm not expecting historical accuracy or anything. I'm just expecting a politic to show up. And for someone who's been so apolitical for so long, as I've said, and the girls try to fight me about me saying that Nicki Minaj has never been a political girly in the way of when she was talking about Jay-Z and how Jay-Z didn't endorse. That's what I was looking for. Jesus Christ. It'll find me. If I don't find it, it'll find me. Why Jay-Z didn't endorse Kamala. And I'm like, girl, you've never endorsed a presidential candidate ever. With all the influence and power and impact that she does have, right? But so it can be a little bit difficult because a lot of people only engage with politics every 4 years during the presidential election. So for GP, it can be pretty difficult to nail down where she stands politically. You can assume because she's in hip hop and hip hop generally leans Democratic, and left leaning, more liberal, that she's a liberal girly, but her lyrics will give you a different, we're not going to get into this with Nicki Minaj about how she said she got a Republican doctor, made her ass great again, MAGA, or how she said she was a Republican voting for Mitt Romney. You lazy girlies just effing up the economy. We're not going to talk about that. What I will say is what I loved about this interview is Nicki Minaj was talking about how she was a trendsetter, right? With the pink hair, and she saw Lady Gaga and, insert Katy Perry and, insert other pop figure here, all wearing pink hair on big magazines. And when Nicki Minaj came to be on the magazine, it was strip yourself down. Strip yourself down. We need black hair. We need you natural. We need you outside of your branding, less glamorous, less Nicki Minaj, right? And it's almost like erasing the fact that Nicki Minaj was the pioneer of this particular fashion trend, right? She talked about Coi Leray and how Coi Leray did certain braids and how a lot of people started to do those braids and how, Billie Eilish came out with the green hair and set that trend and immediately was on the cover of American Vogue. Billie Eilish is influential. How Kim Kardashian, set a trend and was immediately on the cover of American Vogue, right? And how when you don't allow Black women and Black people in spaces to be archived and documented as the pioneers of this historical or this trend, this moment in beauty history and fashion history, that you are essentially erasing these people from the historical document that is Vogue, right? Vogue has survived 200 plus years. It's almost older than America itself. Like it's a pretty historic document or a series of documents. And so I thought she had a really, really great point there, because when you're thinking about Little Kim in particular, her influence on rap, on culture, on how, you know, the bright wigs and the street style meeting seduction and high fashion. There was nobody doing it like Little Kim before Little Kim hit the scene. That is something that we still see the legacy of Little Kim in Nicki Minaj, and Nicki Minaj has stolen that and created her own formula. When I say stolen, I'm not saying that as shade. I'm saying that, I don't forget who it was that said that good artists borrow, great artists steal, right? Essentially, you take something and you make it your own. And so Nicki Minaj has her own legacy that we can see in new rappers today. But I'll never forget Alexander McQueen saying in 1999 that Little Kim was the future. Building relationships with Chanel and Versace and McQueen. This is what Little Kim is doing in the 90s and the early 2000s, 99 and the 2000s. Of course, we cannot debate the scope of Nicki Minaj's influence in music and fashion and beauty. When we're looking at, we can even look at Nicki Minaj says in Barbie Tings, Fendi Prince on, go Tings on. Oh no, is that Chun-Li? Wait. Bitch is King Kong. Yes, Miss King Kong. Yeah, that's Chun-Li. She says, Barbie Tings, that's Barbie Tings, big, Fendi Prince one. And Fendi calls her up and offers her $10 million and says, hey, we want to do a deal with you. And it was one of their most successful campaigns, collaborations to date. They offered 127 items, and at least all of those albums sold out. All those albums, all of those articles of clothing and all that merchandise sold out at least once, which means there were pieces of merchandise that sold out multiple times. When we look at Nicki Minaj with the MAC collaboration, y'all remember when all the girls was doing a MAC collaboration because MAC was the pinnacle of beauty. If you are a 2016 girl who was doing makeup in 2016, come to the front of the class. Come to the front of the class, this thing. I'm talking beauty influencer era. You know that MAC, everybody who we loved did a stint at MAC or Sephora, but the MAC girls gave me superior puss, right? Jackie Aina, Patrick Star, these girls had their stint at MAC. And so we saw Lady Gaga have a collaboration with MAC. Nicki Minaj had a collaboration with MAC. Do you know Nicki Minaj's collaboration with MAC was their most successful collaboration ever, raising over $250 million, $250 million for the MAC AIDS Foundation or HIV Foundation, one of the two, excuse me. Nicki Minaj's economic power in the fashion and beauty market is there. Her influence on beauty and fashion is there. So you mean to tell me Vogue didn't have access to this information? This is Fendi we're talking about. This is MAC we're talking about. This is Alexander McQueen we're talking about with respect to Little Kim. I'm not saying that Cardi B did not deserve to be on the cover of Vogue magazine, but this flex is like, one, it's a quick Google search to see that you were not the first female rapper to be on the cover of Vogue. No tea, no shade. But it's an even simpler historical dive. Like, it don't take much if you was just present and into the things to know that, like, people who are placed in position, it seems like Cardi B has been placed in position in so many areas of her life. Why were you the first? Why were you the first on the cover of Vogue? Why? I have questions. Why have you been allowed to skate so long as a rapper, rhythm and poetry without having a poetic bone? And she's not alone. I don't want to make this an attack on Cardi B. There are many men who do, like, where's Lil Pump? Where's Blueface? We're insert other guys here. I'm just saying that she's in that conversation of people who she's talented in other ways. Not that way. I did not mean to spend that much time digging into Cardi B like that. Digging into her. But that's what I feel. Let me see what y'all talking about in the comments. Little Kim, Bunny 101 says Little Kim in the purple outfit and wig was my favorite outfit of all time. Incredibly influential. The girls still talk about it to this day. Possibilities Archive says her and Missy. Absolutely. I believe you're referring to Little Kim, and Missy shouldn't have been on, or should have been on, the cover of Vogue. Soul Life says, hell, they literally erase documentation these days. Oh, we're gonna get to that. When it comes to that lady defending the erasure of minority history in the Smithsonian and federal, the clean sweep. You getting mopped out? The clean sweep that this administration is trying to do of our history? We're going to get there. Let's go piece by piece. Y'all know this is only an hour-long show, an African ancestral hour-long show, meaning when the ancestors tap me on my neck, my back, my coochie, or my crack and tell me it's time to go ahead and cut this thing, because, and for those of you who don't know this, the reason why the show is only an hour and a half is because of the algorithm. I've done longer lives in the past. I've been doing lives on this channel and on my main channel that I had before this for years now. And when the videos are longer than an hour and a half ish, they don't perform that well. They don't get pushed out that well. So this is just for the sake of having the most people being able to have access to the content and to give the Patreon family an opportunity to get me a little more raw, a little more real, So that is the reason why I do this show only for an hour on this channel, an African Ancestral Hour, because I've seen people comment and ask me that, so I wanted to address that. Now, let's move on to the next topic. Yeah, it was just Chloe Bailey. Here's what I'll say about Miss Chloe, and I'm going to speed through this. I'm proud of you. I live for you. The Soca moment was cute. I do think that it is smart for Chloe to go and seek out an international audience and to try to broaden her horizons, because she's not seeing that much success here in the States. We just got to be real about it. I believe she deserves more respect and more success than she's seeing, but that doesn't change the reality. Excuse me. The reality is she's not seeing a lot of success. And so I really like Chloe on A Caribbean Beat too. There's that. Like I said, y'all didn't give Trouble in Paradise enough. Just the tip, y'all. I enjoyed that project down. And so, yeah, I'm excited to see, again, like I said, y'all should listen to her feature with this man. I think it's called Greatest Benova. The Greatest Benova. It's cute. I'm not obsessed with it. She has other reggae-leaning songs, soca-leaning songs that I enjoy more. But it's cute, and we support Chloe Bailey over here. So, yeah. I love you, Patreon fam. Over there in the homie headquarters. Now, who's next up on the agenda? Oh, so Khalid is dropping a new album, and he has a lead single called In Plain Sight. It's cute. The video is cute. The song is aight. If I listen to it a couple more times, I might like it more. But upon first listening, it was aight. I'll say that Khalid is fine as shit. I'll drink to that. Oh my God. I'm drinking an organic wine today. I'll show you the organic wine. It's an affordable girly. I normally don't do this because these girls aren't. Oh, is the brand on the back? I don't think so. Organic red. Organic red. This is the wine of choice for the day. And I'll tell you this. When you're going to go in with an organic wine, you're going to get a punch in the back of your throat. Okay? Your throat and your solar plex, because it is a stronger girly. Okay? It's incredibly dry, but it's good for you. There's resveratrol in it, which is a great antioxidant, neither here nor there. He's fine. I live for him. Stream the song if you'd like. I will stream the album. I wasn't super excited for the album after listening to the single, but I thought the video concept was cool. It was him in what appeared to be a glass closet, which, if you've ever heard that expression before, like people who are gay, but we all can tell, the girls be like, girl, the closet that you're in, it's made out of glass, miss thing. We can clock your tea. But by the end of the video, the glass cracks and it breaks and he comes out of the closet. And now he's just dancing freely with what looks like a very queer appearing crowd. So shout out to Khalid. We love to see you living freely. Shout out to you. Nick at Night. Okay, this is where I want some people to come on. And this is where I want some people to come on the Patreon. So if you're on the Patreon, open that app up right now. Thank you. I'm about to send y'all the link to call in, and we're gonna play the Nick Cannon clip where Nick Cannon talks about bisexuality and when is the appropriate time to, I guess, tell someone about that. Hold on. Copy. Let me play that clip right now, okay?
As a bisexual man, my biggest struggle is telling women that I am into men on the first date. As soon as I tell them this, I can instantly see them being turned off, and everything I say after that don't even really matter. So I want to know, is it a certain time or a certain way I should let women know that I am bisexual? Because dudes don't care. I can just instantly tell them that they won't give a but when it comes down to women, they are instantly turned off. So should I wait? Because I feel like that's kind of cheating somebody out of a relationship.
I'm gonna let y'all handle
The
that
first answer for the first question is duh. You know, of course a woman gonna turn and go left if that ain't what she's into. You can't change a man. He was a pretty guy too. He must live in Atlanta. He was a pretty y'all missed that whole joke. He's a pretty guy too, but he on some bullshit. A woman that likes men that don't get down like that, that's just not, now this new flavor, they doing a lot of shit. But women who just standard who want a man that don't do that, she don't even want to know.
So, all right, so let me kind of understand this here, because Almond says when he goes out with men, that there's never no problem telling a man that he also likes women.
Listen, I got a dick and titties and to get down when you get down, period.
I was about to say, you're an expert.
You damn straight. I don't know. I had a problem with the bisexual thing. I'm telling you, me and I always teach all this bisexual shit. My friend just asked me, Flame, you think Shannon Sharp is gay? I said, no, I don't think he's gay. She said, you think he's straight? I said, no, I don't think he's straight. She said, oh, you think he bi? I said, no, I don't know if he bi, but the damn show purchased.
Girl, so that was the clip. That was the clip. Here's what I'll say about this. One, I want to say there are gay men who care about whether or not men are bisexual. I was one of them. Oh my God. I can't believe I'm saying this. But I was one of the gay men, and I know I'm not alone in this. Because I felt a similar way that I think a lot of women feel. And that is, and if you want to join the chat, if you want to join this conversation and you want to call in and you're not on the Patreon, the link to join the Patreon is in the description box down below under or next to the after show link. Now, here's what I'll say about me, and don't throw stones because I see you girls still in aisle 3 with those tomatoes. I felt a similar way that a lot of women do, which is like, oh my God, girl, he's going to cheat on me. Immediately. The moment you said that you were bisexual, I felt like, girl, he's going to cheat on me. I know this. Because what happens when you want something that I can't provide? Physically, energetically, I can't give you all the things and the feels of a woman. I just can't do it. And call me biphobic. But I also want to say that I'm just going to be real with you. I can't compete with pussy. I've said it. I can't compete with pussy. First of all, I have IBS. I can barely compete with pussy. I can barely compete with pussy. You motherfuckers that are super advanced taking 13-inch dick, you've got it, sister. Okay, my butt is a very selective butt. Okay, so with that being said, my whole diet got to be rearranged. I'm eating vegan, high fiber, a lot of oatmeal. What did you eat today, Herbie? If I'm riding that like a BMX, granola and at 7 a.m. and ice the rest of the day. That's just what. You understand what I'm saying? And this is why I'm not committed to. This is why I use all my parts. They all work and they all feel great. 10, 10, 10. Great reviews all across the board. Because I just know the way that I'm organized, it's not going to work for me. I can't compete with pussy. What do you mean? It self-lubricates. It self-lubricates, it talks, it farts, it squirts, it oozes, it creams, Miss Thing. And they can use their butt too. No! No! Can we have anything? Girl, what do you mean? They could use their cooch, their butt, their mouth. They could do it all. They could probably suck a watermelon through a straw. Like, no, I swear to God, no, I swear to God, I swear to God, I swear to God. I swear to God. I'm thinking to myself, I also used to think, now this is not how I think right now, mind you. This is just how I used to feel. This is how I used to feel. I'm like, have you seen the real estate of a woman? The real estate on the way that women are shaped up, the way the female anatomy is shaped up, it's too much. My real estate can't compete with her real estate. She got ass from the back, the sides, thighs that thunder when she moves. What do you mean? She's got supreme. That is supreme. To my mind, having sex with a vagina is the supreme sexual experience. It don't get no higher than that. It don't get no higher than that. So what do you mean that I'm now in competition with the supreme element girlfriends? I ain't gonna be able to take this. I gotta go. I'm gonna pack my pussy up, this big, long, strong, and dip. I gotta do it for my mental health. It's not you, it's me. Listen, Peter Pan, it's not you, it's me. Okay? And this has now become Neverland. It appeared to be nothing. I'm nothing to you. I appear to be nothing to you. Nothing but sticks. Women, I wasn't gonna be able to do it. I wasn't gonna be able to do it immediately. I was just like, girl, I'm not even sexually attracted to women, and I recognize the universality of their sexual appeal. Like, everybody likes ass, and there's nobody who's gonna have a better ass than a woman. Period. And even when men have hips and ass and people say they shape like what? I'm sorry, class. What? A woman. He got his mama hips. This is what people say. He got his mama hips. I just wasn't feeling it for me. I just wasn't feeling it for me. But let me bring you in. Let me bring you in. Let me see. Did I lose y'all? I don't want to lose y'all. I see you. Well, hold on. What? I see you shaking your bum on the last live. You got something back there. No, I definitely have something back there. No. Don't ever get me confused. I've got a great ass, small waist. What do I tell y'all? I'm gonna have to just be. Is this a safe space? I always tell the girls, I got a big old Jamaican ass and a thick Haitian dick. That is my truth. That is my truth, and I can't change that. We all have our burdens to bear. And my waist is little. I can't change that. And I have to live with that. That is my lived reality. Keep me in prayer. Every day is hard. Every day is hard. But I power through. I walk through this. I walk through this life shape up like this because this is the burden that God gave me. And he would never put more on me than I could bear. But even with me shape up the way I'm shape up, I recognize that put me next to a doll. Any man next to a doll, even though I'm attracted to men, so I'm always going to say the man is more sexually attracted to me. Human being to human being, you find the most beautiful man and the most beautiful woman. To my mind, the woman is just going to eat the man up. It's just something about the way women are. That's just me. But what I realize now as a person who no longer thinks that way, there's a couple of reasons why I no longer think that way. I've been walked like a dog many times by a butch queen. Fear not. These faggots will cheat back. Fear not. These punks will cheat as well. And real bad. I dated a guy who once told me that when I tell you he was, and I don't normally use this word about black people, but he was a very, and I won't use this word, he was racially bigoted is the word that I will use about everybody who was non-black, right? Just a look of disgust will come upon his face when we were in spaces with non-black people, when he was having conversations about non-black people. It was always something degrading about non-black people. So I was just like, wow, he really doesn't like non-black people. That's weird. And I would always try to have conversations with him about this. Was years ago. So I would always have conversations about it, like that's not cool. Like that's mean-spirited. I don't like that. That's a person just like you're a person. Watch a man, then you should watch your mouth. And I should have been watching my man because he was a fucking liar. What men say with their mouth what they say with their mouth, their penis has a whole different brain. I'm not certain they're connected. Okay? Because when I ran through that hidden catalog in his iPhone, I said, oh, well, that's not a black ass. That's not a black penis. You seem to be real involved. You seem to be very sexually compatible with the people you say you're disgusted with. And there are so many of them. So what did we learn, class? If a man wants to cheat on you, he's going to cheat on you. A hoe is a hoe. And so whether they're a bi hoe, a gay hoe, a heterosexual hoe, a hoe is going to walk like a hoe. A hoe is going to move in a hoe's place. You know? And we should not attribute hypersexuality to bisexual people, because I've dated a bisexual man who was very faithful. It didn't work because he was just boring. And I like a man with a little bit of, zest and energy and, give me something. But he was just boring. So, and a lot of that was my own insecurity around like me just assuming that like I'm not deserving of someone who's going to be faithful to me, or me thinking that bisexual people don't have the capacity to be monogamous. So that's where I land, but I do wrestle. Actually, I'll bring some people up. If you are a woman in the comment or in the waiting queue, I'm going to bring you on up so that we can talk about your feelings on this matter. I see Angel in the queue. Angel, are you a woman, sister? What kind of question is there? Are you a woman, sister? I'm going to bring you on up. Angel, you are live here on Homegirl Hangout with the dolls. Unmute your microphone. We need you. Angel, are you with me? If you don't speak, sister, I'm gonna have to bring you down and bring somebody else up. It's perfectly fine. I'm gonna have to bring you down and bring somebody up, sister, because your mic is not on. Okay. God bless you. Oh wait, hold on. Let me bring you back up. I seen your mic turn on.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. How are you? What are your thoughts? Hello? Oh, it's a chop, sister. I love you down. But we're going to call you back. But we're going to go ahead and call you back. All right, next case. Okay, I wanted to bring up Azorable, but it says that you need to connect your mic and cam before I can add you to the screen. Next person I'm going to bring up is Harleen. Harleen, y'all better not embarrass me in this Homegirl Hangout. Y'all better make sure y'all mic is working. Please, thank you, please. Harleen, are you with me? Oh my God, it's so sad that I'm gonna have to take so many people and put y'all back down in the queue. Harleen, when you get your stuff together, call us back. It's a tough crowd. It's strict around here though. Hold on. Nobody's mic is working. That's hurting my feelings because y'all have never done this on an after show. You girls are showing out on the main live. Hold on. Let me do this.
Hey, what's up?
Now, Kyle, I've actually met Kyle.
Yes.
Out and about doing the things. Okay, Kyle. The ladies who were supposed to come up, I guess they're having technical difficulties, and we'll wait for them to resolve those things. But I do want your thoughts. Now, I do see a woman in the queue, so I want your thoughts, and then we're gonna bring a sister. Or actually, you wouldn't mind if I bring you down and bring the sister on up.
Not at all. Go right ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna do that because I wanted to lead in that direction.
You lying.
So, okay, I'm gonna call you right back.
All right, bet.
Okay. Hello.
Oh my gosh. Hi. Wait, can you hear me? I just want to
I
make sure.
can.
Okay. Oh my God. I'm so nervous. I can't believe I'm on here right now. Hi, Herbie.
Hey, world.
Hello. Oh my gosh. I'm like, I've
Okay.
been wanting to join this for like so long, but I'm just like, oh my God, I'm so shy. So But
We're in this together.
yes, we're here. We're here.
We're here. Yeah, and it's chill. Like, no
Yes.
pressure. You say what you feel. Seriously, it's a safe space. Like, I'm not judging you. It's and no one has a right to judge you. You're that girl.
Right. Period.
And it's your opinion. Like, hello.
Mhm.
So I am curious, like, when is the right time for a bisexual man to tell a woman that he's bisexual? Or should that be something that they disclose? What are your thoughts?
Okay. I'm gonna turn my camera off just because I'm nervous and like I feel like I talk better when I'm not seeing how I look. Hold
It's
on.
perfectly fine.
Yeah, okay. I actually wanted to speak on this because literally I was just because I'm dating a bisexual man right now, actually. Yes, I've been with him for 6 years. Um, yes, we've been together a long ass time. And let me tell you, when we first got together, literally, like the same, like what you were just talking about, how you were dating a bi man and you were like feeling like very uncomfortable about it at first. That's exactly how I felt dating him because at the time I was just like, wait, so how can you be into men and into women? And I was just like very confused by it because at the time, like, I was just so ignorant about a lot of things when it came to just sexuality, and especially bisexuality. And so I just did not understand. So I did project, I feel like, quite a bit of like biphobia and those stereotypes of like him being hypersexual and like, oh my gosh, are you gonna cheat on me with a man? Like, I don't have a penis. What if one day you just wake up and you want dick? Like, what am I gonna do?
Like,
So
hello.
yeah, so I'm just like, I totally understand. And I think it just took me really having to grow and learn and also understand my own sexuality because now I also am bisexual and realizing like, yeah, maybe some of that came from my own insecurities around my own sexuality. It's a lot, but yeah, so I feel like when it comes to in general, first of all, I want to say that I feel like when women react a certain way to a man being bisexual, I think it comes from a place of homophobia. I've heard a lot of women actually say that like bisexual men are just straight up gay. They can't be into men and women. They're just, if they like men, then they're gay, period. I've heard quite a few women say that. So to me, I just think it always typically comes from that place of just like you're homophobic, and then to hear a man saying that like he's been intimate with other men to you, that's where I feel like it comes from. And I feel like in general, I think when it comes to just like expressing your sexuality, I feel like it's nuanced because it's kind of hard to just like right off the bat be like, hey, I'm bisexual. Like, especially when you're just getting to know
Yeah.
someone. Like, I feel like you should be able to disclose that when you feel comfortable enough to. But then I also understand, like, regardless, if this is someone you're living with and you're growing with and whatever, like, you're getting to know this person, you probably do eventually want to know, like, hey, this person, it does identify as bisexual. They have slept with um another gender. So I don't know, it's nuanced to me because I feel like it should be whenever the person feels comfortable enough to express that, but I don't think it should be an immediate requirement right away. But that's just like my thoughts. But
No, I
yeah,
love how old are you? Wait, is it Hannah or Hanaya?
it's Hanaya.
Hanaya. Okay.
Yes.
So first of all, I deeply appreciated your take. It was
Mhm.
super informative. And so how old are you, if you don't mind? You
I'm
don't have to say anything.
24. Yeah, I'm 24.
24. Oh my
Yes.
God. Star-crossed lovers, you and your man.
Yes.
No, I absolutely love that for you. Now, I appreciated a lot of this because I do think a lot of it is biphobia. Some of it is homophobia because people don't
Mhm.
even think that bisexuality exists.
Yeah.
And I really also appreciate the learning that you've done individually. I want to ask you a question that this is not about your specific relationship. I was
Mhm.
going to ask you this prior to you providing me with this insight of you being a queer woman who's with a queer person, right?
Yes.
So do you think it makes a difference if the man was a top or a bottom in his previous
Oh my
engagement?
God. Oh my God. It's so funny that you asked me this because I straight up like I remember asking my boyfriend that question, like, were you like,
Doing a bender.
yeah, or were you like, are you the top? And he was like, well, like I'm always like he's a top. He's top. And so to me, like at the time, that kind of made me feel like, okay, well, at least he's like more dominant or masculine in that way. Um, Oh my gosh. So I feel like now, like, I wouldn't care if, like, he was a top or a bottom. Like, however you like to get it is how you like to get it. Like, it's your prerogative. But I think that that question in general, again, to me, is kind of rooted in, like, homophobia and this idea of, like, masculinity and, like, I just think in general, some like cisgendered women, I guess, tend to have these expectations of masculinity. And so to hear a man saying that he is a bottom or whatever, like that automatically just kind of makes you, you know, the opposite of that and
Yes.
feminine. And so, yeah, I feel like that's a very like tough question. I will hope that women aren't actually out. Like, please don't actually ask men that because I think it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. But yeah, I just think in general it's a pretty problematic question and it shouldn't matter because like it doesn't take away from their masculinity. And masculinity in general is something that should be it's to me, it's also kind of like a spectrum. It doesn't look one way. Um, but I feel like again, a lot of cisgender women kind of want men to perform masculinity in a certain way that them expressing their sexuality in certain ways is not, allowed or
Yeah.
so.
I love this. Oh my God. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna make a quick little boom because I wanted to make sure that everything was working. Now, here's what I want to say to you. Big sister, I appreciate you, Miss Thing. Like, because it's so honest, it's so real, it's so on the nose of what I think a lot of people feel as they're navigating. What does it mean to date a man that's bisexual? What does that look like? And like, what does that mean for your masculinity? What does that mean for having a protector and a man's man? And like all of these things that I think are what a lot of women desire. So I really, really appreciate your time. I want to bring more people up. I'm going to bring you on down. But thank you so much, Anaya.
Thank you. So nice talking to you.
So nice talking to you. Okay, I'm going to put you down. Let me do this. Boom. Oh. No, this. Boom. Now, Olay, I see you in the chat. I'm about to text you the link. I want you to come up here. Sister friend, I'm fixing to text you. I want Chote. The people want you up here too. Yeah. Okay, I'm texting it right now. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Olay. You're actually saved in my phone. You know your name is Olayemi. Your name is, or what I thought was Olay. I initially thought your name was Olayemi. You're saved in my phone as Ola Baby. So it's it's OLABEBI. I don't know if I ever told you that, so I'm telling you now. I just sent you the link. Let me know if you have any difficulties coming up. I know there's people in the queue. But my sister's in the chat, so we gotta have Olay come on up. Let me make sure all of the things are all of the thinging. Hold on, holiday heart. Holiday heart. Oh, is my arms doing? Am I ashy? Y'all know I always gotta do an ash check. Wait. You
Okay,
are swift, Miss Thing.
I look very crazy because obviously I was not prepared to be on anybody's camera today. I was just sitting here listening to you and I was like, oh, I have a story.
We need to know. We must know.
Let me tell you. For the first time I dated a bisexual man and I didn't know it.
Oh,
okay.
And you didn't know it?
No, I didn't know it. He didn't tell me. I will tell you how he told me. And let the record reflect that we met on a dating app where he actively put heterosexual. He put straight. He put that on his profile. So okay. You know what I mean? Like, yes. Not that was like a prerequisite in my mind, but I note that that's what it said.
Right. It's worth noting.
So it's my first year of law school. I'm in the cafeteria. Let me paint you the picture so you can understand the wholesome level of activity that I was on.
Right.
I texted this man and I said, hey, do you want to go see the live action Jungle Book movie? And he responded, hey, he said, yes. Do you want to have a threesome? I know a guy with a big cock.
Hey, oh, hey.
What did you say to me?
You hesitated. I didn't hesitate because that shouldn't have been the question.
I know a guy in the gym with a big cock. What? The Jungle Book? I said the Jungle Book.
Yes.
Oh my God.
The closet.
And then like what do you how do you really unpack that? So what I said and this is my early 20s of like, oh, this nigga's on bullshit. Block, right? Like I'm not even block, right? So I didn't get that follow-up initially, right? Now months later, when I was already in a relationship and he's in a different relationship and he's in a relationship with a woman, he hits me up. Cool, like he apologizes for just like, being that was wild, right? Like he apologized.
That was insane.
Cool. Right. So now I'll tell you. So one day I go over there. I remember it was when I had just like adopted my cat Brutus, and it was like in his neighborhood. And so I stop over there and we're hanging out. And as we're hanging out, he's talking to me about his new girlfriend. And he says to me, oh, he's basically telling me there was overlap. Like he was dating her. Like he started dating her right before he started dating me. So in the course of telling me like who he's dating, let me just give you how he did it. Right. So he was like, oh, yeah. I was like, oh, so who all were you dating? He was like, you, Jessica, Ashley, Mark. I was like, and he just, right.
Hold on. Markeisha?
That's exactly how I did it.
Markeisha?
I promise you. And he just kept talking, right? And now as he's talking, I'm trying to figure out, all right, how do I address like, how do I address this without him thinking I got bad politics? Like it's not me. It's, you know what I mean? Because it's not that you're bisexual. It's that, hold on, baby. You ain't telling me that. You told me something different. So he just keeps talking like it's like just me trying to figure out how do I backspace. So I go,
yes, backspace. Or Control-Alt-Delete. Get me the fuck out of here immediately.
So I go, you say Mark? He said, yeah. I say Mark is mine. He said, yeah. I say, so you're bisexual? He said, yeah. I said, oh, and he just kept talking again. I said, okay, yeah, we get back. I backspace again. I said, you don't feel like you should have told me that? He was like, no, you think so? Like, you think that's something you have to say? I was like, well, I think you actively hit straight on the dating app. So you obviously concealed it. You know what I mean? Like you. And I said, because again, can't have bad politics.
Where was this? Was this at a party where he was like he had a couple drinks? Like,
no, this was at his home. We were sitting down talking. I yes, exactly like at his home, face to face, like casually talking. Right. It would be like you casually just talking to me about a woman you're dating, her. Be like,
I'd be
confused.
Heaven and earth would shift before that happened. But yeah, it would be a gaggy moment. I'm gagging. A part of me is like, oh, that's cunt. Like, you shouldn't have to announce your queerness. Like, it should be a thing. However, everything exists in a context, and your concealing ass put straight in Punda bio.
I swear to God, fully said straight. So I just said, okay. So I said, in the future, I think you might want to mention it. That's how I said it. I was like, I won't mention it.
Like at this point, we've all moved on because, first of all, in any context, I don't know how we move from Disney to Dick. I don't know. From Disney to Dick is crazy. Unless Jungle Book to can we have a threesome?
We've never had a conversation like this. Last time a threesome, I know a guy with a big cock.
He said, Jungle Book, got it. She wants to get wild. I got a time for your ass. I got time for your ass. That's what happened.
To say to follow up on what I was saying to the person who mentioned Molly in the comments. Hold on 1 second. Let me grab this food from my door. 1 second. I was living a life.
No, go ahead, because we gotta get into Molly. Oh, we gotta get into Molly. Okay, for those of you who don't know, while Olemi is getting her food, or Olayemi, Molly is from a show called Insecure on HBO. It was huge. It's an Issa Rae show. Molly is a fan of Issa Rae, the main character. She dated a man named Jared, and he revealed to her that in college, he once got his dick sucked by a man, and they no longer dated because Molly was convinced that he was gay.
One of the most, people's like widespread kicking Molly's back in is one of the most performative thing I've ever seen Black women do on the internet in my life. In my life. I know hundreds of Black women. I cannot think of a cis-het Black woman I know that would have reacted any better than Molly in the privacy of her group chat or talking to her friends. I'm like, beyond me. To me, this is what I think. Biphobia is a serious thing. We should talk about it. We should talk about just deconstructing our ideas around masculinity and homophobia and all these different things and why it should be okay. But that we should recognize that Molly is a fictional representation of 9 out of 10 niggas. So I don't understand this performative, like where everybody was pretending like, oh, you all be out here dating bisexual men. That's funny. I don't know no bisexual man with this experience in life that reflects this. Ask any Black man who's bisexual and or ever done anything with a man, experimented about the time he told a straight Black woman about it and what she had to please. I was like, that's so crazy. I don't know one Black woman like this, but yet I see thousands on the internet proclaiming their love of bi niggas. Where you, baby? And why don't none of the bi niggas know you? The hypocrisy. Like you bitches wouldn't have been floored of your average Black mom be moving through like homophobic and shit. You know how shocked you would be if you thought you picked out your average cishet nigga out the crowd and he just casually, baby, get that from my boy that time. But you know, yes, we know Molly. That's what we're saying, babes. To the person in the comments saying, like, didn't Molly get her coochie ate? Isn't that correct? Yeah, baby, that's how this be. That's the hypocrisy. The way that we treat women's sexuality in general is treated as a performance for men. So even how like women, when you think about how like even how lesbian porn is done, or when women like bi women are portrayed in media, it's portrayed as though it's there for the spectacle of men. We don't even think of it in that way because we don't think of women's sexuality as this like truly autonomous thing to the woman. We think of it as something as cash, as currency or whatever in our society. So no, people don't see it the same way because you're just male gaze, to be cat in the comments. So yeah, you're right. Molly in and of itself, think about it. The first episode of Insecure is Molly talking about how she don't know what the fuck is wrong because if she sleep with men too early, they get bored. She wait, they get bored. They this, they get bored. She this. She talks about the inherent fact that sex is something that Molly has been conditioned to see as something that's a part of a barter system, which is how most women have been conditioned to see sex. So yeah, for Molly, none of that matter material, but for her, my men, who she think is the agency, the sexual being, she can't even wrap her head around none of that shit. You also got to remember that these gals and most people, if we keep it real, use their partners and use the men that they choose as a status to the world, right? As it says something. A lot of women's like fear about dating a man that's bi or has experimented with men and stuff isn't even all just trumped up to their own internalized biphobia, you know, but their awareness of other people's, like the fear that you have that you're gonna tell your friends who ain't as progressive as you that your nigga is this and they can respond to you, so he doing the bending, you know, they can make it. I don't know. That's what they're scared. They are scared that their friends are going to laugh at them. That the minute you open your mouth, Imagine in this world we are in with niggas where we know all niggas ain't us. Loving hip hop niggas exist among us. Imagine being in that world, your niggas by the first time you open them out, they tell you shut your ass up with your gay
ass man.
Remember Kirk in his 3 years? Remember Kirk in his 3 years? Y'all gotta be a part of this world with us. Y'all gotta be a part of this world. Do not have, y'all think Molly could be the lawyer she is, have as much hard mode as she is, yada yada, and they wasn't gonna talk about her nigga work at the fucking rental place and like niggas? That's what they would have said. You gotta at least
and see that's also it's a layered text, right? Because I was gonna ask you, well, I'm still gonna ask you your opinion on the top and bottom thing. So please hold while we transfer that call. But I do feel like it's a layered text, right? I think people want a man. We all want an idealized partner, someone who is a representative or an extension of us, or who can make us look better, right? Hypergamy, someone who can lift us up in the social strata on a number of different ways. This nigga worked at Rent-A-Center, right? Was to her mind, a punk, right? And so while he was an attractive man who was caring, who was tender, and they had a lot of chemistry, there was a lot of reasons why Molly was already just like, this isn't working for me on a number of fronts.
That's another thing. Let me just say that too, by the way. The only motherfucking reason you niggas go up for Jared the way you do is because he's cute. Because you are attracted to him. If a lesser attractive nigga played in, y'all wouldn't give a fuck about that man. And you know how I know it? Because you motherfuckers will still be fucking windmilling for Andrew, who was not a nice nigga. You just ain't never seen a tall, fine Asian man be portrayed as the main love interest. So y'all was gagging because I didn't say people be in my comments like, oh my God, I wish you was Andrew. Why? She married a nice lawyer who was compatible with her, but you don't think he looked good. You're not attracted to him. That plays a big role in which of these niggas we champion. If Jared was played by an ugly nigga, niggas would have let him go in season 1 where he was left.
Right. You're anti-Andrew? This is news to me.
I don't care for Andrew. I do not care for Andrew. And I will, it's on my agenda. It's on my agenda. If Andrew looked like what's his name, man? The boyfriend that nobody give a fuck about that Joan had on, the Ellis. If Andrew looked like Ellis, y'all wouldn't give a fuck if he live or die. Y'all wouldn't. I
didn't give a fuck if I didn't give a fuck if Ellis lived or died. But also that show, the writing on that show is vastly different from the writing on Insecure. I enjoyed Andrew. I think that they were similarly emotionally unavailable in different ways, and so they were not compatible. And I think when Molly was finally ready to be emotionally mature, she met someone who wasn't ready to support her in a number of different ways that she needed. But I do think that he was a good person. He's compatible for another person, and I'm never going to shade my Asian king.
I promise you when I make this case, when I make this video, you come back around to me on alert. I promise you that nigga was a no good.
Don't make promises you can't keep. Because one thing about me, what you do know, what you do know, we'll circle back to that. What you do know is I know how to support a toxic nigga, and I know how to make a case for a toxic nigga. So I wouldn't put your trust in this nigga. Stupid hoe, you figure. I know how to make a case. I do. But hold on. Let's circle back to do you think that, in your personal opinion, that dating, because you said you're not opposed to dating a bisexual man, so I'm wondering what role the sexual position of whether or not that man was a top or bottom plays in your decision-making process.
None, for real. I mean, here's my thing. I think people are allowed to like different performances of masculinity if they know that they know what it is. You know what I mean? If they know what's happening. And I think you can go like whatever, because that's what it is. It's a performance. You like whatever grade of masculine. You know when the light has a dimmer? You know what I mean? Like you could have it all the way turned up, or you could, you know what I mean? So people can like whatever it is that they're into, whatever. I have gone out with a couple of bisexual men, and I have no special. I'm not like one of them gals who be like, oh my God, I love bisexual niggas. No, I don't. I don't have no special affinity for them. They're there. like the rest of the niggas, do shit like the rest of the niggas.
Wait it up. They're just another type of nigga.
Right. I said it to say, I don't think, to me, I never inquired, like I was never like, oh, give me the details of your sexual life with niggas or whatever to make on those. I never thought about it. It doesn't matter really. It's immaterial. Like that's you know what I mean? That's stupid. You know why that's stupid. There's so many different levels. They're just like to me, because what it really is about what level of masculinity am I attracted to, what performance of masculinity that I'm attracted to. And that would be I'd be aware of that based on how he performs masculinity to me. Like it's not like this. nuanced private tests. Like, also, can I get a camera? Like when you're not around me and how you giving it up? Like, are you keeping it in the same levels when you with these niggas? Like, what's up? Like,
Right.
I don't need you to be. I don't need you to be the top for you to feel like this nigga to me if you meet my performance that I like.
Yeah, I also think there's the idea that being a bottom means that this person was a feminine representation in the sexual experience. And that just goes to show that the girls have not had enough, either the gays have not had enough gay sex, or the people don't know enough about gay sex. Because let me tell you, and when I tell you what I'm going to tell you, you will be told what I have to say. There have been many of masculine presenting men that this queen in all of my feminine glory has knocked down. And with that being said, people like what they like, and that's just that on that. It has nothing to do with whether or not they want to provide or protect or be a reciprocal partner or whatever it is that you're looking for in terms of actual the dynamics of what you want in a sex partner or a love partner or a life partner. Those people will show you who they are and you make decisions. I personally feel like at this juncture in my life, I don't want to know anything about your sexual history that does not impact me. So let's if you got, something that if you're packing, if you're packing heat, either you need to go get a shot in the butt, a pill down the throat, and if it, you need to handle your handle, and that I need to know. But beyond that, I don't care about anything that you've done sexually, because it's like, I don't need that. I don't need to know anything about what you've done if it doesn't impact me, and none of what you've done before me impacts me. That's just my personal policy. I really love you coming up here.
I was in the chat. I was like, I do actually have a story. I've been thinking about this because I was like, I made a Daniel Insecure video this week on the Learn Naughty Pop. And so everybody was talking about I should make more Insecure videos. And I was thinking about who I was going to do next.
You drugged them for asking that. You drugged those people for asking that. Which I totally understood.
Yeah. Did I drag them?
No, maybe you didn't drag them. You know what you are? and it's mostly in your stories. If y'all don't follow Ole on Instagram, it's a treat. It's mostly in your stories where you're just like, I guess it's because you're just in your element talking to your phone in the most conversational way, where you're like, honestly, I'm not trying to attack you, baby. It's not you, but you bitches online in my fucking comments. Like, I'm like,
sometimes
you're letting loose.
Every time I do an ask Instagram story, I like answer a bunch, and then I'd be like, I wonder if they ain't receiving this the right way. Maybe I should delete this. I don't be trying to ride them. I really just be like, this is my full candid, like what I be thinking about. And this is like when they come to like, I know what you're talking about. Like when the person's like, oh, I love you. I met your mother takes. And I'm like, thank you. The other videos are just as fucking good though.
Yes.
I hate
you literally roasted. They were like, oh, I love such and such. You're like, thank you so much. I love you for supporting. I love you for watching. But the rest of those fucking videos are gold. Your bitch ass is watching one type of content. Do you know how much work I put into this? And I'm like, like easy dark chocolate. Easy dark chocolate.
Listen, I swear I mean it, but I be like, oh my God, I hate when niggas be talking to me as though like this one particular thing that good and the other thing. I made them all. I wrote them all. They're equal. They're the same. They're the fucking same.
They're all my babies.
Fucking video. It be making me so mad. Like, oh, how I Met Your Mother. I'd be like, y'all causing me to resent these white people. Like in this show.
No,
yes. I have you making you feel like you ain't making good shit. Like, hold on, you ain't gonna watch. It's like you niggas don't click it if it's not How I Met Your Mother and Sex in the City, and then you use the performance of those to like make it seem like they better than other things. No, nigga, you just only watched that.
Yeah, drag them. Me. Don't drag them. Absolutely don't drag them. They all mean well.
I love all y'all who watch my How I Met Your Mother takes and all my videos. I swear I do. I rant. Y'all say be roasting them. Y'all don't give me credit. I stopped cussing people out this year. In 2025, I have barely, I promise you, I barely ride with anybody. I reply to nothing. I don't be on Twitter. Y'all ain't see me y'all don't know I used to carry on 5 years ago. I used to make videos for people like I'm nice. I don't be roasting nobody. Nice. I say thank you. Every time I feel myself getting upset, I just delete the apps.
Period.
That's
Period.
my
Period.
defense.
Sister, I
Yeah,
gotta
my-
let you down because there are
Yeah,
people
go talk
who
to
want to
everybody.
come up. Thank you
Yes,
so
bye,
much for
my
coming
love.
up. This was such a
Bye.
pleasant surprise. Mwah, mwah. Okay. So much fun. We love my sister. Oh, we love my sister. Okay. I love her down. She was such a fucking key. Okay. Okay. Now, I do feel like we've beat this topic down to the bone. So, Kyle, I'm going to bring you up for the next topic, which is still homosexual, but in a different direction. So I see you in the comments, not in the comments, but you're underneath me. You're in the, what is this called? What am I going to call this? You're watching the show live in the pew. We going to call it the pew. Now, let me grab my iPad because I don't think I sent this video over. While I do that, I'm going to sing the song that they've sung for years at my church when it's time before the pastor comes up to sing. But we want the new people to greet the grandmas in the church and to shake your neighbor's hand. It goes, how does it go? Oh, shake somebody's hand. Tell him how good God is. Look him in the eye. Tell him he reigns on high. Welcome to this place where we worship Christ. Oh! Okay. Now, there was a video. There was a video that went viral. Okay. And it was on, I believe, Gay Magazine in Protect. It was on Gay Magazine in particular. And it was of this man asking a question about whether or not gay people can raise kids. So I am going to play this clip for y'all, or like how gay people raise kids. And so, because I've been mother, because I've been owned. Tell me how you gonna take me off. Okay, I want y'all's opinion on this thing. And then y'all just give me y'all opinion. Let me share my screen, okay? Y'all ready for that? You all ready for that? Share my screen. Instagram. I want to make sure it ain't nothing revealing. Amen. Because we all live. Okay.
Because
here we go.
A gay man to
actually, let me just refresh. Hold on one more time.
How are principles passed down from a gay man to a straight boy? How are principles passed down?
Oh my God, what's going on?
From a gay man to a straight boy?
Okay.
How are the principles passed down in terms of how to protect and provide for a woman and how to be a heterosexual man? Can a gay man teach his straight son how to be a heterosexual man? That's my question. Because a lot of our principles as straight boys who, develop into heterosexual men are fundamentally based on how we protect and provide for women and how we deal with women. A lot of our principles are based on that. So I'm curious about that. How are
all right.
principles
Shut
passed
the fuck
down
up, nigga.
From
okay, so he asked more things, but he talks so damn slow. This is a dumbass question, is what sorry, please, girl. You just roasted him up. Raspberry, I'm so tired. Is this Dr. Umar's cousin? We need the investigative team on this immediately. We need the homegirl investigative team. So that's the HBI. That's the HBI, the Homegirl Bureau of Investigation. We need you girls on it immediately. Is this Dr. Umar's cousin? We'll get that immediately. One thing about the homegirls, homeboys, and homies, they've got a PhD in investigating the trade. Here's what I'll say about this question. I actually appreciate when people are asking things that are authentic. He goes on to ask, like, when gay men get married, do does the dad pay for the wedding? Does he pass the bride? I don't know if it's called the bride off to, because it's a man, off to his other, groom. In lesbian weddings, are you passing your daughter off to another woman? How does that work? You shouldn't be offended by this. I'm just asking the questions that a lot of people are confused about. So here's what I want to say about how does a straight man or a gay man raise a heterosexual man? How does he teach him? How does he raise so you don't raise a person, you don't raise a sexual orientation. Sexual orientations are individual, which means, I say this all the time, my father is a heterosexual, hard-bodied thug. That is the way that my father would be categorized. Every time people see him, my dad has a resting mean face. He is a traditionally masculine, believes in a way that I think has affected his mental health in providing. The role of a man is to provide, right? The role of a man is to protect. And I'm not, me and my father are nothing alike. I mean, like nothing. And what did he raise? And I was raised with my father. Me and my father have always been in the same home, except for that 1 year, those 11 months when he was in jail. But my father has always been in the home with me. And that was when I was 16. So from newborn, fresh out the pussy, to 16 to almost 17 through my entire life. I've always known who my dad was. He always comes home every night. When I need money for field trips, he gives it to me. He taught me when I was getting bullied in school and I was like, Dad, I need to learn how to fight. My dad taught me how to fight at home. When, I need to learn how to ride a bike. My dad taught me how to ride a bike. When I wanted to walk my dog, I went walking in the park with my dog. When I went, my first time going trick-or-treating was with my late uncle. But also my mom and my dad, my dad was very present in my life. And we could not be more different energetically and sexually. Like, my dad loves women. I love women too, in a very different way. And you want to know why? Because the qualities that make a good man is not whether or not he sexually desires women. Let me tell you something. The biggest threat to Black women in the Black community are heterosexual men. Black women are disproportionately more likely to be unalived by their heterosexual male partners, to experience domestic violence by their heterosexual male partners, to be raped by their heterosexual Black male partners. So when you say, how does a homosexual man raise a heterosexual man with the values to protect women, I'm not certain that heterosexual men are raising heterosexual men to protect women. Let's be crystal and let's be clear. Let's be clear. The greatest threat to Black women in any community is white supremacy, patriarchy, period. But the people who they're most likely to experience physical harm by are Black men. And you don't have to argue with me. The FBI has this data available. The FBI has this data available. You just simply have to Google. There are multiple different organizations who tell you how many times more likely Black women are to experience rape, sexual violence, sexual harassment, assault, domestic violence, unaliving at the hands of, and it's overwhelmingly intraracial, meaning in community. Let's be clear. When you ask the question, how is a gay man going to raise a straight man because a lot of the qualities that straight men are raised with is to protect women, I think that is the veneer that Black men are told that they are responsible for owning Black women in a roundabout way, that they can't think for themselves because they're not logical, they're emotional, so you got to think for them. So when they say no, you don't believe their no because you don't even believe they're smart enough, intuitive enough, logical enough, serious enough to say no, that they are autonomous beings that have the agency to say no. I'm not certain you're in a position of moral superiority. And I don't say this because I think that your question was inherently negative. I think that you're really curious because what it is I won't say that you are bigoted, because that's not, you're intending to ask questions that I think people have asked me many a times. I got uncles that be like, you know what, I fuck with you, nephew. Finally. Finally. When I was walking around with a bent wrist through the hood playing with my cousins, and you were saying, yo, don't hang out with him. He got some sweetness. Well, you would say he a faggot, so stop hanging out with him. I don't want him hanging out with my son. That's what y'all said. But then y'all realize, I grew up. Y'all realize I was a person who was on something. I'm smart. I've got my own business. And I always say this, I'm a cool ass motherfucker. Cool as a cucumber. Every year I have, we have Thanksgiving at my African-American uncle's house. All my African-American family is in the building. Okay. And we have a vibe. I walk through untouched, untapped, heart of the hood, loved. And why is that? Because I'm cool, bitch. My sexuality don't have nothing to do with me being able to walk through a space. And here's another thing, as a gay man, what my father raised me, the principles my father raised me on that I take as a gay man, right? Is honor. A man is supposed to provide for himself. If you can't provide for yourself, you can't provide for a family. A man is supposed to provide for a family. And it's not just about financial providing. What I learned from what my father was not able to do, from his ideas of what it meant to be a traditional man, of just providing and protecting, is that a dad should be nurturing as well. I want to like you as a kid. I don't want to be afraid of you because you're the disciplinarian, because you're hard body. Dads should make you laugh and tell you it's okay to cry, son, because you're a person who has feelings. And if you bottle that up, you'll have high blood pressure like I do. You'll be in and out of the hospital thinking you're having a stroke like I'm navigating, right? There's a reason why men have higher levels of unaliving themselves, not because women don't attempt, because that statistic is nuanced. Women have more suicide attempts, but men are more successful in unaliving themselves. They get up out of here quick. And that's not shade or even a joke. That's me being serious. That men have, there's a mental health crisis impacting men because there's too many heterosexual fathers raising their sons saying that boys don't cry. Pick yourself up. Stop crying. The baby's 3. So what I think a lot of heterosexual fathers could learn from queer fathers is that a queer model of raising kids is not saying you should be gay. You should, because what I know about sexual orientation is when I tell you that my mother tried to pray the gay away and my father tried to beat the gay away, it's the reason I have a pretty strong pain tolerance. You understand? It's impossible. So sexual orientation is individual. It is natural. Go ahead and do me a favor and type in Google how many animal species engage in queer activity. I believe it's around 1,300 species. Penguins, dolphins are notoriously bisexual. Elephants, lions, several different kinds of felines, engage in bisexual activity, queer sexual, homosexual activity. Why? Because homosexuality is found in nature. It is a natural byproduct of how people are sexually oriented. How animals are sexually oriented. Hold on, wait a minute. Get out. Now, we're trying to have a serious conversation. Ace, what do you mean your dog is gay? How do you know? How do you know this? We need data. Are you in the homie headquarters? Are you on the Patreon? We need you to submit data. Not that you have to spend money to do this, but I just know that there's a group chat in there. So I'm not pressuring you if you're not. If you are, I need data. Does your dog only hump other male dogs at the park? And how are you verifying that those dogs are male at the park? We need to know this. We need to know this. We need to know this. So yeah, I mean, gay dads are raising good kids. I know when I'm thinking about what it means to be a parent, I'm thinking about, I want my kids to be respectful. I want my kids to be kind. I don't want my kids to be concerned with sexual orientation because that's a natural byproduct of human existence. When they come of age around puberty, the first time they develop a crush, it'll be on whatever types of human beings they have a crush on. And we can have conversations about that and during age appropriate timeframes. But it is your job as a parent to see the direction your child is going and support what is healthy, what is safe, and just raise a good person. Why are you worried about what your child will do in intimate activities? It's strange. Oh my God, this show is only supposed to be an hour and a half, and we have so much more to get into. I do still want to talk about whether NicOlandria's love is real or fake, and what does it mean for folks, if there's a way for people to engage in interracial relationships that are absent racism, that are absent racial ignorance, and what does that look like? I absolutely want to dig into what's her name? Jillian Methuselah Michaels. Yeah. That white witch with the dark magic. That magician cooking up the chicken feet. Yeah, we need to dig into her ass and the Trump administration for removing so much African-American queer history, women history, and why I appreciate this sector of the conversation because it's arts at the intersection of history, politics, and pop culture. So I'm really excited to, my nose ring is itching. I'm really excited to get over there. Am I going to watch the reunion? Are you talking about the Love Island reunion? Is a pig's pussy pork? Absolutely. I'm absolutely going to be watching the reunion, and it's on Sunday. We will be here next Monday to discuss. This same time next Monday. We'll be here every week next Monday. Here's what I say. We are going to have to cut the show here because the ancestors have tapped on my shoulder and said we have to move on to the end. Kyle, if you're still down there, I love you down. No, Kyle said, oh, it's two of y'all. I see y'all. Hey, y'all. Okay, can y'all are on the Patreon. So we're going to finish this over on the Patreon, okay? Because I want y'all thoughts on, well, actually, let me bring you up and tell you because I don't want to be mean. Hey, friends. Hey. Okay. So we're gonna finish this over to Patreon because the ancestors have tapped me on my neck, my back, my coochie, and my crack. So it's time. So I'm just gonna send you a new link. Come on. Well, these are my ancestors, say man. We'll just come over because I do want your thoughts on, being queer people and what does that look like to raise children and all of the things, right? I'm gonna bring you down. Does that work for you?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I'm just here for the fun. Like I'm enjoying the show. I don't even gotta be in it.
No, but I want your take. I want your takes though. Okay, so I'm gonna call y'all back.
All right.
Okay. Love them down. Now, what I'm saying is we've got to get into the things, and this is what I wanted to let you know. Every single time, because here's my idea. We're gonna do the show. It'll be the African Ancestral Hour, and then we'll do the after show on the after show. But I've done several after shows and I've loved them, and I haven't posted them. So what I'm gonna do is the very next day, it'll come up on YouTube, on the YouTube memberships that I have here, because we do want to respect the people who paid their hard-earned cash. They work hard for the money. And then on Wednesday of every single week, I'll post a full episode available for your viewing pleasure of the after show. So that's the way we'll do it. Okay? I love you too. The people ask me this. The Patreon ranges from $2 to, well, there's several different tiers, but $2, $5, $10, and I believe $20 is the highest. But you can access the after show from any one of those tiers. I do believe the $2 tier is sold out. I don't know. Hands up. Don't blame me. Don't shoot me. There's just some fast acting homies in the comment section. But yeah, it's like $5. And it's worth it, I promise. Okay, neither here nor there. Because I'm like, please. I'm begging you. No, but for real, I'm going to go. I love y'all. This has been such a good show. I'm super excited about this. I think I'm going to change the episode title to Lollygagging with the Girls and the Gays, because that's pretty much the premise of the show. It's in the description box, baby. The link to the after show is always in the description box. Okay. I'm going to let you go right now. Before I let you go, I will never leave you without saying this. I am in a constant state of practice, and so are you. You can never fail when you're in a constant state of practice. I love you. I got to get up out of here for real.